I thought our game against Rutgers was one of our best games of the spring season here that we've had. Great that was on senior day. We were able to recognize a lot of seniors on that. But I thought the biggest thing was a good collective group effort for a long period of time. And I'm really proud of this group kind of moving forward. They've had a lot of holes to fill. And probably what John talked about is that there's been a lot of challenges, playing indoor at 11:30, being COVID tested at 6 a.m. in the morning, all those things is a challenge. But what's great about this group is that they've kept getting better and better. And we've asked different players to play different roles, and they've done a good job. And as I keep telling most of the players, that we just want to keep progressing. So heading here at the end, I think John said this, and we're sort of in the same situation. We are in complete control of our destiny. We could be number one in the West Division for the Big Ten tournament, which would be a bye in the first round if we do beat Minnesota or get a tie. So to come down to this, it's kind of like feeling like playoff season right now. And I'm excited to see after this emotional victory on Sunday, how this group takes it forward to play Minnesota, who is playing quite well right now.
Start the questions with AJ.
Coach, obviously Jordan Bloomer gets a lot of attention for, her numbers that she's putting up in net, but what's contributing to the team's great defense this year?
I think I see this every year. We have 3 new players in the back line. We have Gabby Green, who, as a sophomore now, is kind of building to that role. And, 2. Claire Shea's returned, and Sammy Kleeke has taken over where Grace Douglas was, and we returned Macy Monticello. But I think it's been more a collective effort. I think if you look what Izzy Verdugo has done in the midfield along with Maya Sella, their open field defending and able to track players down and tackle have really had a huge impact on our success on not giving up goals. And so I think that, Jordan gets the accolades, which is awesome. She's doing a great job managing and making the saves that she needs to save. But those guys are really putting in a lot of work that doesn't get recognized in stats per se.
Go to Brian Posick.
Hi, Paula. With considering all that your club's gone through, everybody's gone through, quite honestly, are you surprised at all you're in the position you're in right now? I mean, there were some departures and what have you. You mentioned you had to fill different roles and what have you. Pleasantly surprised with where you're at right now?
I do. I think it shows a little bit about this program. We've won some, haven't been so pretty, but they find a way. And I think that goes to a little bit of their character and what they believe in about this program. Some of the players and myself have been frustrated with some of our performance, which I love, because that means that they want more and they want to be better. But they have to remember, Cam Podolsky was a 4-year starter, all Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. And we're asking Gabby Green to be Cam, and she's not. She's getting there. She's getting better and getting experience to do that. The same thing, we've lost our leading goal scorer with Danny Rose, who could create something out of nothing at one point. And up to this point, we hadn't had Lauren Rice because of injury. So you're looking at your 2 leading scorers being gone, and, trying to fill those holes magically. And I try to, keep instilling these guys that it's a building process right now, that, you replaced 4 starters who had played for basically 4 years. So I'm excited that they kind of took a jump on Sunday. And then going into this Minnesota game, being able to control their own destiny, I think is even more exciting to see how they respond.
Back to AJ.
Coach, how have the freshmen adapted to the collegiate game?
It's interesting because we had all fall, and I never understood how softball or, those sports that are spring sports, how they develop players. And it's interesting because, obviously with this COVID season, it was kind of funky, and trying to emulate what a game would actually feel like was very challenging, even though we have very talented players that bring it day in and day out. And so when they got in their first game against Ohio State, there was a little bit of a shock to the system, I think, because, they're used to playing the same people, and you kind of get in the habits, like, I'm not going to tackle here, I'm not going to do this. And I think the first couple of games, some of our freshmen got stunned, and they've taken that information, they've taken that, and they've gotten better and better and better from it. So I think there was that moment of, well, I've been here for so many months that I've been playing, I feel comfortable, and here's an outside competition. And that's where you really, as a coach, you get the true feedback of how somebody's going to respond. They may look pretty good in training, but until the game is on the line, you don't know. And so I think that first game, they kind of got put on their heels. And then from then, we've had different players do different things. Allie Fine scored a goal in the Northwestern game. Sophia Romine has been playing a lot. We have Porter List, and those guys are getting good experience that's going to help us moving forward.